Today, a friend of mine, she, while talking to me in the morning, tells me about one of her friend who had a first bad marriage and love marriage, then a bad marriage, then again she fell in love with somebody, and again going through a rough time. And hearing her, I was compelled to think that why do we choose the mate we do, and what could be the reasons every time we'll fall in somebody and maybe fall apart or somebody someone continues. What's the reason? So my friend, today I'm going to talk to you all, my views on why we choose the mate we do. To poet and all philosophers, they might not, their emotions, if you hear them, it is amazing. It is beyond any reasons and logic. Only uh, understand or try to unlock the riddle of love with a calculating machine and a mathematical equation. It, to them, it just seems to be an absurd uh, idea. But my friend, I feel that love, like faith in God, is supposed to be above the reach of any scientific or any logical studies. Far too many studies, far too many reports have come explaining this factor of love. One of the theory I'm going to share with you, which I had read it recently, and according to the theory is called the complementary theory of love. According to the complementary theory of love, the love of a man for woman and the woman's for a man is basically self-serving. It's primarily, I think it's the primary purpose of is to benefit the lover and not the beloved. Each of us tends to fall in love with someone whose personality is complement of our own, and through whom we can therefore relive our own frustrations and vicariously live our own impossible wishes. Like, for example, they say a tough, burst, hard-working, hard-demanding man may long for, in secret, to be cared for a child again, and he cannot be this, so he fall in love with a frail girl he can ensure sheltering, and through whom by proxy he enjoys that would be other self. And she, meanwhile, has always is very easily falls in love and to be more aggressive, and because she identifies her life with his, she indirectly achieves her wish also, because she wants an aggressive person if she is mild and good. So complementary, each benefits and fulfills the other, and so love, through selfish in its origin, succeeds in being a mutual blessing to both of them. That is the gist of the complementary theory of the love. I feel, in my friend, that the individual who like to dominate, teach, or direct with their is in their nature, whether it is male or female, had fallen in love with person of the opposite sex who like to be steered to. have decisions, need for them, or to be they need to be instructed and a guided life. A strong need for recognition in one spouse is frequently linked with a small need of recognition in the other. Then an easygoing attitude was often mated with a flashing temper. That is the complementary theory of love talks about. Now, it says, you see, that the theory, when it talks about the dovetailing of the psychological needs, is essential reason for love and a far strong force than a sexual desire. Beauty, similarity of tastes, etc. Indeed, this theory answers the often asked question, what does he see in her? A sharp tongue in a woman will look like a shrewdness to one man, delightful vivacity to another. A preoccupation with homemaking may seem wonderfully feminine to one man and merely insipid to another. This neat theory, my friend, also explains with many men and women fall in love with the very opposites of what they thought they were looking for. The researchers always thought that the ideal girl, one of the author, he said the ideal girl is blonde and sweet and quiet, and he married a one who is a lady who is dark, bouncy, and talkative. Just opposite. There was another author. He writes on the same subject. He says always expected to fall in love with a girl who was intelligent, ambitious, energetic, and chose a languorous, well-groomed bird brain, exactly the opposite. My friend, married people tend to resemble their mates in religious affiliations, ethnic background, social class, level of education, and other social characteristics. It may be thought that a person tends to fall in love with someone like himself on the level of emotional needs, but such a mate would duplicate rather than compete his personality. Hence, even if a man finds such a girl, either he fails to fall in love or the love fails to prosper. When this psychologically opposite to oneself comes along, although they contradicts the ideal image, a mightier and more satisfying love springs up generally. The saying goes that the opposite pole attracts and similar poles repel. If someone happens that the man who falls in love with the opposite of what he thought he wanted soon set about trying to remake her into the original image, and if he succeeds, she will no longer be the person he fell in love with. The man tries to make his childish wife more competent. The woman who tries to make her easygoing husband more ambitious may succeed only in creating a partner who will no longer satisfy his or her emotional needs. The reformer, you see, there are far too many reformers. They say that usually a reformer usually picks a partner who cannot really change so radically. He thus can play reformers years after years without loss, since his beloved need never becomes what he thinks he wants, but he remains what he truly wants. My friend, the another factor what we why we choose the mate we do is that I feel that the adolescence lacks the feeling of importance as a person. His need for recognition and identity is overwhelming. The easiest way to meet is to fall in love with someone famous and then gaining a vicarious sense of fame. As boys and girls finish their high schools and or the education, they go to work or to college, their needs change. And more sure of their personal value, that gradually cease to ascribe marvelous properties to mere physical attributes and begin to respond to deep lying traits of character. There's the kind of love that produces marriage, my friend. Perhaps I feel that most broken marriages say may prove to be more the result of the failure by one or both partners to recognize their own important needs. I also feel that the need pattern of the young adult are radically different from those of adolescent. It follows that uh, juvenile love, the juvenile love is hopelessly inadequate. A basis is that the girl who marry under the age of 20 have statistically three times as great a chances of winding up in divorce court as those who marry between the age of 22 to 24. The idea for the boys, the all the idea and the all the statistical data for the boys, it tells the same thing, no different. My friend, as the Urdu poet says very succinctly, हद से ज्यादा भी प्यार मत करना, दिल हर एक पर निसार मत करना, क्या खबर किस जगह पर रुक जाए, सांस का एतबार मत करना, आईने की नजर न लग जाए, इस उस तरह सिंगार मत करना, तीर तेरी तरफ ही आएगा, यूं हवा में शिकार मत करना, और मेरे दोस्त डूब जाने का जिसमें खतरा हो, ऐसे दरिया को पार मत करना. Success in marriage, my friend, is much more than finding the right person. To sum up why we choose the mate we do, I feel that success in marriage is much more than finding the right person. It is actually a matter of being the right person. Thank you very much.